Hello everyone, how are you today? I'm glad to finally be speaking again. It's been a while. And I was like, what's up with me? What's going on? And I finally figured it out. Um, but I want to start with a song. Have you heard this one before? Say what you wanna say and let the words fall come out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave. Have you heard that song? Have you seen the dance that goes with it where the people are dancing? It's fabulous. I love it. And so today I'm going to talk about being self-expressed, or another way is what did I want to call that? Oh, a way back into speaking your truth. And that's what I want to talk about today. And it is challenging to do that. I want to first start with in the past. In the past, I used to be very, very shy growing up. And even so much as maybe 14 years ago, maybe not that long ago, I had a dog. And when I started my little preschool daycare, I had to find a new home for her because my little poodle at the time, she would nip at people's heels, the kids' heels, and she would yipe all the time, and it just didn't work out to have my little kiddos there with my poodle who wouldn't behave. So I put an ad in KSL, and a woman came by, and after she came by, and I looked at her, and I saw that she didn't even have something to put my dog in, Nikki. I did not feel good about her at all. And I saw her car, and I saw she looked like she was poor, and who knows, what she would do. And I did not have the courage to tell her, I'm sorry, I've changed my mind. I can't give up. I can't give up my dog right now. I didn't, because I didn't have the courage to speak up for how I truly felt inside. It's tough. We grow up when we're little children. It's not only, we notice body language, we notice tone inflection. We are always watching when we're babies, when we're toddlers and preschoolers. We notice what makes our parents happy and what makes them sad and what makes them not so happy with us. And so we gear everything we do to please others because it is innate. It's hardwired in us to need people. We have to survive. Human babies need interaction, and they need people, to take care of them. So it's hardwired in us to want approval and to want love and to be accepted. And so because it's hardwired in us, we're always noticing, we're always looking at body language, what they say, what they don't say. Especially if you lack self-confidence, you're going to do that more. And it's just going to grow up to be a part of you when you grow up. And in my case, I wanted to be the perfect person that my mind told me what perfection is, And I can even remember when I was having my second child. At the time, we thought we didn't have insurance that would cover anesthesia. Yeah, that's right. And so I thought, oh, I'm just going to be natural. I'm just going to go natural, right? Because I just thought I was all that, I had no clue. But anyway, so the admitting nurse, she had long fingernails. Can you imagine? Long fingernails. And she was checking me as I was in labor. And I did not have the courage to tell her, excuse me, I don't want you to check me. You have long fingernails and it doesn't feel good. I didn't have in fact, I didn't even know to do that. That's how, now, younger kids, the younger generation, they don't really have this as much. I really don't think they do. It's the older generation, my generation, that grew up with a certain way, that we had this idea of a certain way we should behave and what we should do and what was appropriate and what was not appropriate. And of course I grew up with that, and I'm not the person 40 years later in our marriage as I was when I was first married. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing to grow and to be self-expressed. So that's my little message today is, and so here's another idea. So I had a thought that came with that. I kind of wrote some ideas down here. And it's important too, in being self-expressed, to have boundaries. Like, I would not tell my married children what their spouse should do, or I would not get involved and start telling them how to live their life in their marriage. That would not be a correct boundary. So there's boundaries too in being self-expressed. And our minds are always making up stories. Like, let's say someone looks at you in a funny way and you're thinking, wow, what's wrong with you today? When really they might be looking past you and thinking of something that their boss said earlier. Our minds are machines, or they're making up stories. They're kind of like computers. They're always making up stories, constantly making up stories. It really is true. And so that's the trick. So if we start listening and believing everything our mind says, and we start telling that to everybody else, well, you said you meant this and you meant that, it's not true. So one of the things we could say is, well, this happened, this and this and this happened today, and I had this thought. Is that what you meant? Or so we can set things up so that we can ask them, is that what you meant when you said this? And that helps us to be more expressed without getting into all kinds of challenges. Let me see what else I had said here. Now, it's important to disagree without becoming disagreeable. And that's something I'm learning. In years past, I was not involved in politics at all. I was very discouraged. Jeff and I both were the Bushes and of course Obama. And when Trump was first in, I just thought, oh my, another one. Well, what can, And so I never even paid attention, and I never got involved in politics. We stepped away from it. But it's about the middle of May this year, things started to change, and I started to see a new perspective. And so I have learned, because I care deeply about our country and about freedom, I'm really a freedom person, then I become involved. And so I've had to learn how to speak my word, and listen to others' point of view without being disagreeable. And that has taken some practice, and I have had to on occasion tell a few people and backtrack a little bit and say, I'm sorry, that wasn't very kind of me, what I said. So the thing is to get that everybody has their own reality. Everybody sees things from their past, from how they grew up, from their emotions. A lot of it is we see things from our emotions, and also from what we're watching and what we're being conditioned. Of course, that's a huge thing right now, is conditioning, as I see it, is going on. But it's okay to have rigorous debates. Like the founding fathers, when they were in the Constitutional Convention, they had rigorous debates. They had arguments. They had to figure out our country. And so it's a good thing they were self-expressed, because they needed to get everybody's point of view to craft a constitution that would bring our country together. because I think the Articles of Confederation almost tore the country apart, if I remember right. I don't remember a lot of it, but I remember a little bit. I've been trying to read up on things like that again too. So it is important if you feel like it. Now, let's say that you're not used to saying your point of view. And as soon as you start saying it a little bit more around your family or other people, they might be a little surprised. You know, they're used to you being timid or not saying much. And so if you step out of that box and start to give your point of view more, it may be a little upsetting or confusing to your family or the people around you. We get used to people being a certain way, and then when they're a little different, sometimes we don't know what to think of it. I can remember growing up, I don't remember my mother very often. I actually never. I remember her one time when I was an adult being very sad and saying how she felt about a certain thing when my sister and I were there. That she got her feelings hurt about a particular thing, a tradition that we had that she wanted to change because she felt left out, because we always went to my aunt's house on Christmas Eve. And I was shocked. I will tell you, I was like shocked. And I told my mom to be quiet. And that's not really like me normally. But so if you do step out of a quiet place that you're used to being, don't be surprised if people don't understand and they become a little confused. And you can even say, this is hard for me, but I'm going to say how I feel. And pretty soon it brings, when we are able to be self-expressed, it opens up other people to feel that they can also give their point of view. And especially at this time when there's so much censorship going on, we have to be careful. And also we have to make sure we don't call people names or ridicule people for their beliefs. And that is a popular tool that's being used right now for people who don't believe what mainstream media and the narrative want you to believe. If you are to speak up against it or for your own point of view, you might get some ridicule. And that's okay. It kind of makes you tough. We kind of need to be toughened up a little. Anyway, let's see what I had here. There we go. Let me see if there's something else. A while ago, I used to say a sentence. I would start to talk. I would be halfway through the sentence and I would look around and I would notice no one was listening in my family, so I'd quit talking. And so, and I want to share one more thing. If you want to share something very personal, I notice for me, if I have a spiritual experience and I want to share it, like with Jeff, he's the person I will share it with at first. I usually don't look at him straight in the face when I share it. I notice that I look down and I tell my experience. And I've never thought about it, why, until I had an experience with another acquaintance. And, well, she's a friend, at least I think she is. I'm not sure if she is really, but so I told my friend a very spiritual experience that happened to me. And I realized as I was talking to her, my mind automatically was looking at all the cues, everything, her voice, what she was doing, her eyes. And I realized that I was not going to be able to say and to explain clearly what I wanted to explain because I was noticing all of the body cues, all of the signs, all that was going on. And so I realized, I said, I'm going to just close my eyes and look away and just say this experience, which made it look extra strange. But I wanted to tell my truth. I wanted to tell it clearly and precisely without censoring myself. So that's something too. We are hardwired to want to fit in and to want attention, and so it's pretty tricky. And there are times in your life when you will need to stand up for what you believe, and it may be different than the narrative, it may be different than others. And I'm still learning how to disagree without being disagreeable. And so that's my challenge today, is to encourage you to be self-expressed. We've put a lot of money into going to some seminars called Landmark, and one of the last one that we went to was this self-expression leadership program. And it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to be self-expressed. But if you aren't, what can happen is you can start to see yourself as a victim. If you don't speak up for what you really need, for what you would prefer. I don't like the word need so much, but what you prefer, speak up for it. So it's my challenge to you to see what you can do to be more self-expressed and see how it feels. It feels really great. Thanks for listening. And a way back into being self-expressed or speaking your truth. Thanks so much.